Sexual harassment is a fierce giant, and many women have fallen prey to this. Due to fear of victimization and inadequate information on human rights and where to report, many cases have gone unreported. Rural Women Peace Link started in 1992 after the tribal clashes by groups of women volunteers who saw the need of preaching peace in the communities. All through to 1994, the group did peace building, helping the women in the communities understand the importance of participating in peace building.
Kama vile wale tulikuwa jana pamoja, tuliwaambia historia ya Rural Women Peace Link. Tulisema shirika letu la Rural Women Peace Link ni shirika ambao ilibuniwa na akina mama ambao walikuwa wakifanya kazi na shirika la NCCK, wakifanya kazi ya amani na maridhiano, na baadaye wakaona ni heri wachukue jukumu ya kuanzisha shirika hili ya akina mama ambao itasungumzia amani na maendeleo na maridhiano katika jamii ambao wamezozana.
Msipofikiria kama wananchi wa Bindura kujenga hii shule, watoto wapite. Watoto wenu wawe ni Wakalenjin, wawe ni Wakikuyu, wawe ni Waluhya, wawe ni Wajaluo, watabaki wapi?
Women were made to understand that they have equal rights as men and they are entitled to decision making and interaction.
How are you?
In 1996, the 5 women decided to form a dream team, which advocated for peace and empowered more women in various parts of Rift Valley and sensitizing them to form networks. By mid-1999, Rural Women Peace Link had mobilized more women to join the group, thus forming 14 networks, covering the larger districts of Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, Turkana, Laikipia, Olmoran, Gucha, Transmara, Mount Elgon and Migori Kuria, among other areas. Since then, the mission of the organization remains to mobilize, influence and promote the participation of local women in peace building, community governance and development through collaborative and network process. Apart from peace building, the Rural Women Peace Link has been focusing on women's human rights in conflict situations. The Rural Women Peace Link is currently running a program empowering women and girls to be active citizens and agents of change in the society. With support from HIVOS Netherlands, the project is working in partnership with other relevant sectors and institutions to address issues of women's bodily integrity, of which gender-based violence and sexual gender-based violence are among the issues on focus.
So just a brief history. Rural Women Peace Link is an organization based in Eldoret. We work in 5 thematic areas. Peace building is our major thematic area. So we work in peace building, we work in women economic empowerment, human rights, documenting experiences of women in conflict areas, and also mentorship. We have a mentorship program. So you can go to our website, www.womenpeacelink.org, and you can apply online.
Rural Women Peace Link has been on the forefront in the fight against sexual gender-based violence and thus spearheaded the ongoing sensitization and investigative journalism activity on sexual harassment, targeting 5 universities in Uasin Gishu and Western region of Kenya. These universities include Moi University, Masinde Muliro University, Egerton University, Baraton University, and Maseno University. The purpose of this activity is to investigate the extent of sexual harassment in these institutions and later use the information to advocate with the university management organ to end the practice.
Personally, even when I grew up, I used to see a lot of sexual harassment taking place in schools, even right from primary school. You find a teacher going and calling a girl from the school, from the class, and telling, go to the house and cook for me. Go to the house and take a debe there and go and get water. But then, as soon as the girl goes, the teacher follows. We started now to connect the stories we've been collecting over the years. We've been listening stories of girls at the university dropping out, stories of lecturers being summoned or being transferred from the institutions because they have either harassed a girl, and nobody has ever known exactly what is the end of that story. And so we think this is the right time that the Constitution empowers us. And so when we're talking about reforms outside there, we thought it is the right time also to start pushing for reforms right from the institutions so that women and girls can be more empowered, can have the freedom, and can have the right to be able to pursue their education without interference from the very, very teachers and the very, very lecturers who are supposed to empower them intellectually.
When we start the lecture, we open the semester, the class rep normally goes to the coordinator of the faculty and pick the numbers of the teachers. The teacher debates for 2 or 3 weeks, we call the teacher. We had debate for 1 month. No, I had to ask him whether he's coming or not, so we talked to the coordinator and tell her to bring another teacher so we can continue. And we went on campus, the semester is 3 months, we tried. So I had called him twice and he said that he was coming. Now that day he came, told me I was so good, he's supposed to buy for me lunch. Okay, good enough, I had a class. We have class from 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2. And his lesson was 10 to 12, I had another class, 12 to 2. I told him I can't be able because I have another class. He said it's okay, and then he left. At around 9 the same day, he called me. He told me he doesn't know Nakuru. He's from Nairobi. He doesn't know Nakuru. Right now, he was staying in another hotel, Avenue Suits, if you know Avenue Suits. So he was like, come to Avenue Suits, you show me around where I can take supper. So I told him I stay in a hostel, and by 8, our gate is normally closed. So the next day he came to class. He was like, why are you dodging me? And I was like, he's teaching me. Okay, there were other guys in our class I used to share a story with. So one day, one of them told me, if he calls you again, the next day he came, he called. He told me, the lesson was on Friday, so he came on Wednesday to Nakuru. So he told me, I'm in Nakuru. Tomorrow is a lesson. I'm in Nakuru. I don't know Nakuru, so I don't know where to maneuver myself. I just moved from town campus to town. So he was like, he showed me around. I told him, I'm not always, town campus we have lesson in, you have only 2 hours break. That, I told him it's not possible. And he was mad at me, really mad. Okay, that semester ended that way. Our transcripts are not yet out, so I don't know what I wrote. So funny enough, he's teaching me this semester. Today, I had his class. Last Friday was the first time he came to class. And he was like, must take me to Joro campus. And I was like, why should I take you to Joro campus? I told him I'm very busy, I can't go to Joro campus. So, today was his class. I was not in class. I found his message, he asked me why I was not in class. What I know is that the last semester ended without me getting in contact with him, and I know this also will end.
This practice has led to many female students dropping subjects of choice to avoid giving in sexually to lecturers, while some have given in to sexual abuse in order to be given the grades they do not even deserve.
We have a lot of experience in advocacy. The stories that we are hearing and that we are picking from the universities as we investigate, the stories of violations even in the villages, are stories that cannot be addressed without evidence. And so we have the experience of evidence advocacy, where we table, we document and table the issues as they are real in the villages, as they are real within the context, as they are real in the institutions. And so we are transferring the experience that we have in advocacy now to bring it to a higher level where we can now table what we have documented and the testimonies from the girls to be able to ask the authorities. In fact, we are trying to look at how to table this with the Senate of the universities, to look at what is happening, what policy are existing, because in real sense, we've gone to more university, we've gone to Egerton universities, we realize there are some kind of papers, documents, which are actually similar to policy on sexual, to address, that will help them to address sexual harassment. But policy is not, it's not policy, it's just something on a paper if it is not implemented. So what we want to do is right now is the experience that we have on advocacy. We want to transfer it to ensure that the policy that are already existing are actually implemented so that at least girls are able to benefit from that very policy.
So far, Rural Women Peace Link has carried out the activity in 2 universities. These are Moi University and Egerton University, where the theme dwelt on human rights and bodily integrity. Students appreciated the forum, which covered bodily integrity, human rights, Sexual Offences Act, and shared their experiences, and even suggested way forward to ensure eradication of sexual harassment in the universities.
During my second year exam, that was second semester, that is the final semester in second year, and there was this lecturer. I was doing in his exam and he insisted that I had a Mokenya. That is, I was cheating in exams, of which it wasn't true. So he asked me to step out of the classroom, of which I did. He asked me to remove the paper or you take me to the Senate. And I insisted, I told him that I'd be so ready to go to the Senate because there was no evidence, there was no evidence that I was cheating. So being persistent, the lecturer, looked for one of the female lecturers and asked her to frisk me, that is to search me all over. The female lecturer did that and found nothing. So the female lecturer asked me why. I mean, if I had something, I should remove it and stuff like that. So I told her that this lecturer has been harassing me sexually since I was in my first year. This was really, really, really hard for me. The lecturer who was supervising the exam, that is the lecturer of that course, had even refused to approve my judicial paper. So I was wondering what's wrong with this guy. I mean, why is he doing all this to me? This is someone that I met when I came to campus, you know? So I was wondering, does he have something against me or something? Anyway, after the search by the female teacher, I went back to the exam room, cleared my exam. I was a bit scared that he wouldn't sign my exam card, but he signed it and was just quiet. So I was a bit scared because maybe this would happen for the rest of the 4 years in campus. So I went to the teacher, I confronted him and asked him if he had an issue with me, he should just come clean and tell me what the issue was. And he was just like, we can work it out between ourselves and stuff like that, and just scrapped off the whole thing. So I'm just wondering, will this continue until my 4th year? And I'm just praying that this teacher really stops harassing me.
I went to Mombasa with 2 lecturers, I remember. And on the second last day, we were taken to go and swim. So we changed in the vehicle, we asked the men to leave Wakatoka, we changed inside, then I was so excited. It's been long since I swam. Then I went and ran to the water. Kufika kwa maji hivi, the first person I met there was my lecturer and 3 other students, girls. So nikasita kuingia ndani and I was like, hey, how do you just go to your lecturer so close in your swimming costume? You know, swimming costume, it was such. And he was like, no, it's okay, just come. You see, we are just relaxing. Just come. And I was like, no, I'm not comfortable. And these other girls will come and they're getting excited. Oh my God, you know, the way they were acting. And then, when nikasema, okay, fine. So I said, sita hoga karibu na yeye, but I'll hold the girls on this other end. But I was looking at the boys around who are in my class so that I go to them and leave this clip. So just in that moment of looking and kuangalia venye nitasonga, I felt so irritated. The other lecturer, I sijui alituona, he came running from behind. So I only felt someone ameruka kwa mgongo na like ameshikilia, you know, like ameruka, you know, gongo wazima, like this. So I was like, kwani ni nani? Who could this be? The way it told me it's not a lady, and I turned kuona ni nani. It was my other lecturer. I felt like chopping off that part of mgongo. I felt like I was so disgusted. Then after that, I saw another boy in my class and I was like, Abby Charles, able to talk about my day, I don't think I want to stay here. Going back to the vehicle, the lecturer still adds insult onto it. I felt so harassed and humiliated by all that. I didn't like it. So I was like, I wonder how some girls behave. This is a lecturer, this is this and that, and that's how you go to misbehave elsewhere. But I felt so bad.
There's this lecturer. Yeah, he wanted my roommate's number, and because he was not able to find it, he went out looking for the registration forms where he found it. And for that case, he called the lady, and when the lady responded, he was asking her whether the reason why she had refused to give him her number, and the lady was wondering whether she was supposed to give him her number because the lady was taking her course, which was an elective course. The lady had to change the course because the lecturer was demanding much from her.
So this is my teacher, approaches constantly. And you know that your art results go through the teacher. Your end-year exam is the one who marks. So that's what he does. Comes, holds you. Sometimes you're not the one in charge of the duties, he's giving more responsibilities, but he calls you up. So what do? And you know, if you started becoming rude, what would follow? What would follow?
F. Then you had it, huh? You had it.
What would follow was an F. So I was so frustrated. That semester I was really frustrated. Really frustrated. You wake up in the morning, when your phone rings, you hope it is not him. Because even if you will not pick that one, you will still call until you pick. So you know these guys who call until you have 20 missed calls from the same person. Battery. So I was in a fix. I really was in a fix and was really praying that the semester ends because I was fearing for an F. So I had to be so calculative. I know when to pick his call. Sometimes he calls very weird hours. At that time I was a non-resident. And he wants to visit. I said I'm a non-resident, so the chief security could not protect me because I'm a non-resident. So I'm a non-resident, he wants to visit, so this time I have to say, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm not in. I'm out. You know, you have to maneuver your way. Because if you start being rude, you'll get F in your transcript and you had an A. So I maneuvered my way so intelligently, sought for some form of advice, although not directly, because I didn't want to go and launch a case. Okay, although that's debatable, maybe launching a case could have been better, but sometimes the bureaucracies can stop you. So I maneuvered my way so intelligently until the semester ended. I passed very well, and thank God I'm here today and I could give you.
During the Moi University Students' Forum on Sexual Gender-Based Violence, the following issues emerged. Parents should be open in discussing sex issues with their children. Ladies in campuses should not have an easy way out just because they will have to sleep with lecturers to get what they want. Ladies are intelligent and should use their intelligence to get things in the right way. One's decisions and destiny lies within oneself. Ladies should always encourage each other and be in solidarity with those whose rights have been violated. There is fear among ladies who know the lecturers who engage in such activities but still cannot report them to the higher authorities. Change should begin with the ladies since they are the lecturers' target. Ladies should take control of their reproductive rights and integrity. People should learn to be content with their lifestyle, so ladies should stop following lecturers just because they are rich. If a lecturer calls a lady, she should make sure that she goes with someone else. That way, the lecturer will be unable to say what he wanted to say if it was a sexual advance. Recommendations and way forward. There should be a non-partisan body to handle sexual harassment complaints in Moi University. There is need to create more awareness of sexual offences in the campuses. Form a students' association on sexual harassment. Students should be trained on how to make follow-ups and influence policies at the university level and the country at large. The existing policy on sexual gender-based violence should be given to the concerned clubs. The following are the strengths of Egerton University in addressing sexual harassment. They have peer counseling offices that help address the issue. They have student link clubs where burning issues are discussed. They're also coming up with a gender policy on sexual harassment. They have a helpline operating 24 hours to help address sexual-based conflict among students. The administration allows students to speak on such sensitive issues in their presence. However, some of the challenges hindering successful address of the issue in the university are as follows. There are limited workshops and campaign programs on this issue in the university. The security office that receives the cases is manned by male attendants, yet most who report are female students. This has lived to scare many from reporting. There are no specific clubs addressing sexual harassment issues in the university. There is no sexual harassment policy document to help students follow correct procedures in case they want to report.
At the end of our advocacy process, which we intend to do intensely with the Senate, we intensely do it with the key policy makers, even at the religious sectors and other influential sectors, to be able to expose what is going on. Actually, it's not even going to be exposure. It is about reminding them with evidence that this is what is going on and what we have been keeping quiet all about, because people know what is going on. And the lecturers who are doing all these things in the university, they know it. So what my expectation is, once we have engaged with the high-level stakeholders, we'll be able to have the policies that are existing functional. We'll be able to have girls drop out or change of subjects reduced, so that we have ladies able to pursue what they have intended to pursue without being harassed. We are expecting the stakeholders to be more open about this. I'm happy already that at Egerton University, the administrators are already very open about it. Actually, they're talking. They even have clubs that are helping encouraging the boys and girls, the ladies and gentlemen within the institution, to be able to talk about some of these issues. But facilitating the real issue, like the sexual harassment, has been limited. So we are expecting that it will be an issue which is not a secret anymore. It will be an issue that can be open, and that the institution can have a sector that can really focus on that and can understand that this is not just a private affair. This is actually an institutional affair which is systematized and affects the future and the dignity of the girl. So we are expecting a lot of openness and a lot of discussion about it. In the event that things are not working, we are expecting to have a demonstration on the street. Yeah, but we are also expecting that the model, once things work with the 5 universities, because now we have done the 2 universities, we have field questionnaires, and we are going to analyze these questionnaires. That's what I'm talking about, the evidence-based. We are expecting that once this is done in the first 5 universities, we can use the same strategy and the tactics to influence the other institutions across the nation. And who knows, we might end up going to the neighboring countries, because our experience is the small people on the ground, once they are sensitized, and the women, once they're mobilized, the young people, when they're mobilized to understand that the very girl who is being molested and who is being sexually harassed would be the would-be wife, you know, I'm sure we're going to gain a lot of support in stopping this thing.
Out of the 2 activities, it came out evidently that sexual harassment is indeed a crisis in these institutions, and students suffer in fear of reporting the cases. They feel that reporting will amount to victimization, and so they prefer keeping these issues to themselves.